Juju Watkins has agreed to a multi-year contract extension with Nike, reportedly in one of the richest shoe endorsement deals in women's basketball history.
Nike. Following the signing of a new contract with Juju Watkins, Nike has reportedly replaced Caitlin Clark entirely and will pay her more than Caitlin.
This is insanity what they're doing to Caitlin Clark.
Juju Watkins will have one of the most lucrative shoe endorsement deals in women's basketball thanks to a multi-year contract extension she signed with Nike.
You own it, and this was in Iowa. They had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been crickets.
Nike has completely forgotten about its biggest star, Caitlin Clark, who is being hushed while they search for bigger stars. The WNBA vets and gatekeepers are furious about this, right? I mean, I've been in college for a year and haven't won anything. Am I doing this correctly? How could they have allowed this to happen? Do they not recognize Caitlin Clark as their biggest draw? Or perhaps they do and are choosing not to promote her. Are we serious? Right now, Nike has the largest WNBA draw in the palm of their hands, and they don't care that Juju is dominating college while receiving greater deals than Caitlin.
Huge shout out to Juju Watkins, signing a multi-year contract extension with Nike, giving her one of the largest shoe deals in women's basketball history.
Huge congrats to Juju Watkins for signing a multi-year contract extension with Nike, which gave her one of the biggest shoe deals in women's basketball history. Initially, A.A. Wilson destroyed Caitlin to prevent Nike from promoting her, and it appears that they are paying attention because Nike is now giving other players huge deals while Caitlin receives nothing for winning Rookie of the Year. This is absurd.
I believe that Caitlin Clark, if they would have released a signature shoe for her this season, they would have made a killing.
I think Caitlin Clark would have made a ton of money if they had released a signature shoe for her this season. As we all know, if Nike had done so, the shoe would have sold out right away. Instead, they continue to give Wilson the shine and promote her the most, even though Angel Reese appears to be getting her own shoes with Reebok. If Caitlin stays with Nike, we will be waiting 20 years at this rate.
What do you think about her shoe? Sorry.
I love her shoe. I'm so happy for her. I mean, she's deserved it.
Yeah.
Asia has been somebody that's inspired me, not just on the court, but off the court. And as a black woman, her story, being from South Carolina and everything behind that. So I'm super happy for her. I wish if I could wear Nike, I would definitely wear her shoe.
Even if Caitlin Clark is there awaiting the call-up, it's clear that the agenda against CC is real, but no one wants to acknowledge it. This Juju, what's extension, has resolved everything. Nike has published another Nike ad with A.A. Wilson. Caitlin is disliked by Nike.
How do you miss an opportunity like that? How do you not capitalize? It doesn't make any sense at all. And playing the politics where, oh, we need to release Asia's shoe first. Well, no, it's not Caitlin's fault that you haven't done anything for Asia yet.
Nike has a knack for finding up-and-coming talent and signing some of the most exciting names in sports. Most recently, the brand made headlines by landing a deal with Juju Watkins, a remarkable young player who has taken the women's basketball world by storm. However, in their haste to land the next big thing, Nike appears to be missing something important. They already have one of the top women's basketball players, Caitlin Clark, under contract. Clark's star power and scoring leadership have enthralled spectators. Few players in any sport have Clark's level of influence, but despite all of this, Nike seems to be ignoring her potential despite her enormous popularity and rising status. Clark is a generational talent who can dominate on the court and also have the star power to sell merchandise and draw media attention. Fans of Clark are beginning to notice and are not pleased that he isn't getting the same amount of marketing push or promotion as other athletes like A.A. Wilson or even Juju Watkins. A.A. Wilson, a key player in Nike's basketball lineup and a WNBA cornerstone, is largely responsible for Nike's current focus shift. Wilson is unquestionably a superstar in her own right. She has won numerous MVP awards and successfully guided her team to victories, solidifying her status as one of the faces of women's basketball. However, in the process of elevating Wilson, Nike appears to have further marginalized Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark's going to help it change for the better. All of a sudden, we're going to see Asia Wilson. She may get some more shine because she's that girl. Diana Taurasi gonna get more shine because we know what she brings to the table. Ionescu, she's gonna get more shine. Others, black, white, everything in between. It's about the ladies, now more so than ever before.
According to reports, after Wilson won another MVP award, she insisted that Nike concentrate more of their marketing and promotional efforts on her. She wanted to represent the brand as the face of women's basketball, and Nike complied by giving her top priority in their campaigns. While it makes sense that Nike would want to take advantage of a player with Wilson's level of popularity, fan base, and marketability, the problem comes when they start ignoring someone like Clark, whose fan base and marketability are through the roof. Clark offers Nike a huge opportunity, but by concentrating primarily on Wilson, they run the risk of ignoring an even younger and larger audience that Clark brings to the table. Neglecting her could have serious repercussions for the brand.
All I know, when they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If the WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why aren't people watching?
It didn't take long for Caitlin Clark supporters to realize that Nike was ignoring her. Clark has one of the most ardent and committed fan bases in sports today, and they have seen her set records, dominate the court, and regularly put on exciting performances. However, Nike has ignored her in favor of other players, leaving many of her supporters perplexed and angry, wondering why the company doesn't seem ready to fully embrace a player of Clark's caliber. Adidas acquired Caitlin Clark. Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers were imprisoned for the following 5 years.
The league versus Caitlin Clark, and that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next level.
This growing discontent has boiled over into something worse for Nike, a boycott. Increasingly, Clark's loyal fans are ditching Nike products altogether, expressing their disappointment by choosing not to support a brand that doesn't properly recognize their favorite athlete. What's even more alarming for Nike is that many of these fans are turning to competitors like Adidas, a company that has openly shown Caitlin Clark the respect and recognition she deserves, while Nike was slow to congratulate. Caitlin Clark, on her incredible rookie season, Adidas was quick to seize the opportunity and recognize her achievements. When Clark was named Rookie of the Year, Adidas wasted no time in publicly congratulating her, understanding the significance of her talent and the bright future she represents. Congratulations to Caitlin, the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. This gesture was more than just a show of respect. It was a savvy business move by acknowledging Clark's success early and enthusiastically. Adidas positioned itself as a brand that truly values one of the most exciting players in basketball, filling the gap Nike left.
Cannot wait to see her get to the WNBA because I think she's just going to tear it up. Between Caitlin Clark, that's already in the NBA, Paige Beckers, who's going into her final year at UConn, and then she'll be into the WNBA. And then we got to wait for Juju to get there. I'm telling you, women's basketball is in such a great position right now. I'm so happy for these women and for the women's game of basketball.
Conversely, Nike's tardy and unimpressive reaction to Clark's Rookie of the Year honor brought attention to the brand's objectives. Their emphasis was mostly on emerging players like Juju Watkins and efforts to promote other sportsmen, which resulted in a lost chance to honor an established great. Fans couldn't help but notice the shift in strategy. As a result of Adidas's early acknowledgement of Clark's success, many of her followers have begun to choose the company over Nike, seeing it as the one that genuinely stands by their favorite athlete, while Nike continues to concentrate on other projects.
She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin. Clark's Indiana Fever jersey is apparently sold out in all sizes. It was rumored that she actually outsold Dallas Cowboy jersey.
Clark's Rookie of the Year title was more than just a ceremonial honor. It was the pinnacle of an incredibly successful season. She was chosen for the award not only for her extraordinary talent, but also because she has been one of the WNBA's most influential players. Despite all of this, Nike continues to ignore Clark despite her exceptional scoring ability. She can light it up from anywhere on the court, whether it's driving to the hoop or making deep three-pointers. With her influence and marketability, she could easily be the face of a major global brand like Nike, driving millions of dollars in sales from shoes, jerseys, and apparel. Instead, They've chosen to focus on new signings like Go Watkins and well-established stars like AIA Wilson and Paige Buers, even though these athletes are unquestionably talented and have bright futures. Nike's choice to refrain from. Given her massive fan base and demonstrated ability to sell stuff, Clark is confusing.
I don't want to be in this situation next year where I'm saying, do you remember when you people were giving her grace, saying that she's 22, media training is not there? 1 year afterwards, she's still in the same position.
Nike sales are clearly suffering as a result of their continued focus on new players at the expense of Caitlin Clark. Fans are becoming more and more irate at the lack of advertising and attention their favorite star is receiving, and many are taking matters into their own hands. Fans of Clark, who are renowned for their fervor and devotion, are switching from purchasing Nike goods to rival companies like Adidas, which have demonstrated a higher regard for Clark's accomplishments. There are real-world repercussions from Nike's failure to adequately promote Clark. What might have been a huge chance to capitalize on Clark's popularity is instead becoming a poor marketing move that is damaging their bottom line, since fans won't support a business that doesn't appear to understand the magnificence of one of the best players in the NBA. Nike cannot afford to overlook the fact that their overemphasis on these new hires has come at a high cost, as they are losing momentum in both sales and customer loyalty. The marginalization of a well-known celebrity such as Caitlin Clark by putting herself in the background in favor of athletes who haven't yet attained her level of influence or fame, Clark has already attained heights that few athletes, particularly in the WNBA, have attained in such a short period of time. As Clark's popularity grows and she establishes herself as one of the WNBA's biggest stars, the demand for her to be properly promoted by a major brand will only increase. If Nike continues to overlook this opportunity, they run the risk of alienating more fans and losing even more sales to competitors willing to fill the gap. Nike is taking a significant risk. Fans are already responding to this oversight, and the message is clear. They won't tolerate Clark being ignored. Nike is at a crossroads. The company has long been the industry leader in basketball, bringing in top players and up-and-coming talent to represent their iconic swoosh. They can keep bringing in new players like Juju Watkins, who has a lot of potential, and established players like Aya Wilson and Paige Buers, who have already amassed sizable fan bases. However, Nike needs to understand that Caitlin Clark is more than just a rising star. She has already established herself as a generational talent. Her impact on the WNBA and basketball in general is undeniable. Her on-court performance has been compared to the greats, and her fan base is among the most fervent and active in sports today.
A lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing that we can do, because there are so many great players, there's so many great teams, there are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated, and for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up wanting to be like them.
Her fans' discontent with Nike's disregard is evident, and many have already shifted to rivals like Adidas, who have demonstrated a greater willingness to acknowledge and celebrate Clark's accomplishments if the company doesn't start giving her the recognition and promotion she deserves. Adidas sent a strong message to supporters by praising and respecting Clark's Rookie of the Year award early on, while Nike took their time. Adidas believes Clark is the future, even if Nike doesn't.
Swoops all y'all other haters out there, and I'm gonna call you out, man, because it's blatantly obvious why you're hating on the young lady.
Caitlin Clark is a generational talent with marketability that goes beyond the WNBA. She is not simply another player. Nike would be smart to see her potential sooner rather than later, because she can spark a new wave of customer devotion and excitement, and her capacity to move items from shoes to jerseys is unrivaled. However, Nike may lose money if they don't properly promote her dearly. If Nike doesn't change their strategy and put Clark first, they risk losing not only sales but also the loyalty and trust of basketball fans who have long expected the company to support greatness in all its forms. Fans have already started boycotting Nike products, preferring to spend their money elsewhere. Finally, Nike needs to wake up in their race to promote new faces and established stars, because they have completely overlooked one of the best players in the game right now. Caitlin Clark has the potential to sell more shoes, jerseys in a year than any other WNBA player, but Nike persists in ignoring her. If they don't change their strategy soon, they won't just lose sales, they'll also lose the respect of their long-standing fan base. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Additionally, subscribe to see more videos immediately.